Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for the Vampire Diaries Season 6, Episode 9, I Alone. I am your host, Dom, who is not alone. I'm here with my two co-hosts, Omikins.
Oh, hey.
A.k.a. Nikki. And, Heather. Hello.
Hey.
It's strange. I get the two of you in the same place at the same time. I thought you two were the same person for a long time, because we never got to see you guys in the same place anymore, so... I didn't know if you merged like Kai did or something. Like what Kai's trying to do. I don't know.
Boy.
No. What'd you guys think about this episode?
Interesting seeing Kai in the real world. And how he's
was.
like... His whole, like, rant... It wasn't even a rant, it was just like a spiel about Twitter. It was kind of hilarious.
He definitely stands out.
Yeah, he definitely stands out.
Ooh, a piece of gum.
I mean,
have you ever wore skinny jeans?
I mean, the guy was using a beeper, like, yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta look at it that way, too.
My phone doesn't fit into my skinny jeans.
Neither does my beeper.
How did he get all these gadgets?
In the 5 minutes between.
How did he freaking get on a plane without a passport?
How many people do you think he had to murder to do so?
I don't know, but... He's not magical, so he can't get that stuff by magical means.
No, but he can get through that stuff through brute force, conniving... I don't know.
Yeah, he just brute forced his way through airport security, you know.
No, he connived his way through there. He brute forced his way to get people's passports.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
The brute force was kind of his conniving. So he kind of did brute force his way through security by conniving the brute force people. And yes. So he pretty much wants Joe. He's going beelining it directly to Joe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But in the meantime, he finds Liv.
Yeah.
Do you think that was a coincidence? Or was that an intentional, let's go to this bar because I know she's here kind of deal?
I mean, he was like, Liv, that's interesting. I don't think he actually knew it was her until he connected some dots.
Yeah.
It was just coincidence that he happened to be in Whitmore looking for Joe and she was there.
Yeah.
Could be. But in the meantime, Tyler's there. Like Tyler said he was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
He's protecting her. He promises to keep her safe. And he shows up right when she needed him.
Yep.
Her knight in shining armor.
Yep.
Do you guys like Tyler this season?
In the beginning, he was kind of going really good. He was getting a little bit of a stronger story, more character development, and now he's becoming the lovesick puppy dog again.
Yeah. I mean, he's angsty and he's kind of whiny.
Mm-hmm.
He feels like he's an entitled little non-werewolf boy without his mommy to guide him with every step he takes.
Exactly.
I mean, this is how he was, though, kind of in season 1. You know, he's very moody. You know, he's very whiny at times, but he was more apt to fight and hit people. And, you know, he's trying to control that. He's trying to repress those feelings, so he's coming off as more whiny than anything.
That's just the side effect of the curse wanting him to break it.
Right. But then, the interesting turn of events is we see Kai, you know, at the end of the episode, wanting to team up with Tyler. And Tyler kind of agrees to, because he doesn't care what happens to Joe. He just wants to save Liv. Do you think Tyler can trust Kai?
I don't know. Didn't they say that if there's two twins in existence, that, you know, one set of twins has to be gone.
Yeah.
For the other twins to merge.
I don't know if they have to be gone or if it jeopardized his chances of leading the coven.
I don't know. I mean...
Because I think, if I remember the story correctly, the father kept having more kids, hoping for more sets of twins, because he wasn't happy with Kai. It wasn't that just having them means that Kai can't merge, but it means that, it means that there's other twins to take the role as the leader.
Right. Like, wasn't it that he felt like... Ow! I think we're all owing. Wasn't it that he felt that the first set of twins failed, so he needed another set?
No, he just wasn't happy with Kai. Kai was kind of the odd sheep because he wasn't magic, but he was.
Yeah, the way his powers work are very different from conventional witches.
He's very, very different. He's more like, I see the way he acts, and I think warlock over witch.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, even so, because he doesn't have powers by himself. He needs to consume other people's magic to be able to use it. So I think that, to a degree, right, this seems like almost, I want to say, like a genetic level kind of mutation or deformity. Which is weird because we know that witchcraft isn't necessarily genealogical, or is it? I mean, the witchcraft, it runs in their family, right? That's the whole reason there's covens of witches, and, you know, this was passed down to this, was passed down to this. But then we also learned that it's a supernatural event, because magic doesn't work inside Mystic Falls. So to what degree is it genetic, and what degree is it magic?
Having magic is a genetic thing.
Yeah, I think what they're trying to get at is that the ability to harbor and harness and control magic is the genetic part.
Yeah.
The ability to be able to use and wield it and learning it is the supernatural part.
It's the person's capacity. If they don't put any effort into it, they don't cast spells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you end up like Bonnie, she has amazing capacity, and she put herself forward, and she's one of the stronger witches. She's not like Esther or anything, but she's strong.
Yeah. Well, she also dabbled in expression, you know, a couple seasons ago, which was the most, arguably, the most powerful of magic.
Yeah.
But speaking of Bonnie, Damon and Elena kind of go back into 1994 to try to retrieve her.
Yeah.
Did you guys think we were going to see anybody go back in there, or did you just expect people to keep flying out of it?
I didn't expect to see anybody, and the way that getting the thingy.
I mean,
Ascendant?
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't think of the word. I had a brain fart. I was just thinking, big gold sparkly thing.
I thought they would have, you know, they would tie in the bear and maybe one of the Gemini witches to, I mean, they used Liv, but I mean, as far as to get Bonnie out, I didn't expect them to throw Damon and Elena back into 1994 to, you know, pull Bonnie in with Liv's blood. I mean, I didn't expect that. I didn't know where they were going to go.
Damon definitely lied through his teeth to be able to get that.
Yes, he, you know, compelling Alaric. Alaric was not happy about that.
No.
He punched the shit out of Damon.
Wouldn't you?
No.
You would be happy that Damon made you do something you were never going to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's Damon.
Oh, so you have the hots for Damon.
Yes.
His man children.
It's my man crush.
Okay.
We learn something new every day.
Yeah.
No. But no, but
Bye.
I mean, Alaric didn't want to hear the story. Like,
No.
he already got out. This was before they even got there. Before the Ascendant was even used, had nothing to do with the Ascendant. Right? And Kai was already out. Alaric is not mad necessarily at Damon defying him, as he is that it puts his girlfriend in jeopardy.
Right. Yeah, Damon had nothing to do with Kai getting out. So, I mean, if Alaric would have gave him at least 2 more seconds, he would have found out the truth. And I think he left before Damon could say anything, so...
I think Damon kind of still got it out, but Alaric was walking away at the time.
Yeah.
Didn't want to hear it, and it had already happened. It didn't matter at that point.
So, Kai going after Joe is going to be Damon's fault, even though it's not.
Right. Exactly. But speaking of things that are Damon's fault, you know, Elena, in typical Elena fashion... You know, makes everything all about herself. Mm-hmm. And picks a fight with Damon while they're trapped in 1994. You know, they're still 6 hours out from Bonnie. You know, and they're going back. They're waiting on Elena's front porch. You know, they're all this stuff, and you know, Damon's like, "Look, I'm genuinely doing this for Bonnie, not for the chance between me and you. I'm doing it for Bonnie." And Elena just kind of shuts up after that. She really doesn't have anything to say. You know, she was put in her place.
Oh, because, you know, she didn't realize that how much time they spent together actually created a bond.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she was being stupid and selfish and didn't realize that that kind of stuff happens. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk?
Heather, what do you think? Do you think Elena's falling in love with Damon all over again?
It's inevitable. I mean, it's fucking inevitable.
Does she not need her memories back to fall in love with him again, or do you think it's really gonna rely on getting those memories back?
I think
something's gonna snap or click, and she's gonna have all the memories come rushing back.
I keep waiting for something like when she was standing there with him and all of a sudden she was like, oh my god. You know, I was like, it's going to click. You know, I keep expecting for something to trigger them.
So do you think compulsion kind of works like amnesia?
It's kind of what it seems like.
Yeah.
In a way. But as far as her falling back in love with him or whatever, I could definitely see that happening again because, I mean, that's who the fuck she is. You know, she kind of has this bad habit of kind of falling for anybody who gives her fucking 5 minutes of their time. Nikki's face, she's just like, and obviously he's going to give her every second of his time because he wants it. But without her memories, I think it would be on a different scale.
I don't know. I think he's growing and realizing that, you know, she's a different person, and that he doesn't really like her right now.
She's a lot different person without those memories. I mean, he made her who she was. Yeah. You know, without.
I think they both kind of made each other what they are.
They did. But without Damon, she was literally a stingy little bitch. You know, I mean, she thought of nothing but herself constantly, and she's definitely falling back. Yeah, she's definitely falling back into that.
I mean, even when she was with Damon, she thought of herself a lot, and you know, if somebody did something that she didn't agree with, even the slightest, she was on their ass.
Yeah.
So she's not I mean, I think Damon just realizes after being away for so long, and now that, you know, it's kind of like a clean slate, and Elena is at that state where she is a vampire, and she has grown and, you know, gotten used to that side of her, I mean, life and all that. I mean, he realizes she is not at all a person he's interested in. And I hope it stays that way, because...
Yeah, it seems more like it's going towards the scenario where Damon's going to realize he was in love with the idea of them.
It's the same way he was in love with... Yeah, he fell in love with Catherine. She was, you know, manipulating them from the very beginning, but he fell in love with Catherine, and he stayed in love with her, even though he knew how much of a bitch she was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's finally coming into play with Elena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damon and Bonnie.
No. They
would kill
unless Jeremy, like, goes cataclysmic and destroys himself, there is no way Damon and Bonnie are getting together.
I know.
Jeremy seemed to have himself together though when, I mean, he's being realistic. Let's put it that way. He's basically saying what everybody who's watched this show for the last 6 years, is something bad is always going to happen, and at the very last second, this is going to happen, and it's going to ruin the whole thing. And he just he had it word for word, and that I'm pretty sure that we've described that exact scenario that came out of Jeremy's mouth, describing how something was going to go down one time. I mean,
didn't they say that he shut off Bonnie's phone finally?
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, he's obviously slowly pulling himself out of this ditch.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Outside of that, we have Stefan gets to sit down with Sarah Salvatore, who we find out is not actually Sarah Salvatore.
And when she said her name, I kind of sat back and I was like, they better not be tying this shit together with the originals. Because it was just that character doesn't exist on the originals anymore. Why are they doing this? I'm like, no. And then they explain, and I was like, okay, I'm better now. They're not together. It's a completely different character, just same name. Yeah. It is a thing that happens in real life.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, necessarily tying the two shows together in that way could have worked.
It could have.
In this kind of weird backdoor way of doing it, without pre-establishing, setting up, and giving us this character a while ago on the originals or something like that. Not necessarily, but I'm glad that they didn't go that route anyway with the way they set it up. But it gets to the point where Stefan is going to go so far to protect the secret that the real Sarah Salvatore is alive,
right?
That he allows this fake Sarah to become Enzo cannon fodder. And Enzo just snaps her neck, and it's like, okay, this character that we just saw maybe 6 episodes ago, just debuted. Did she didn't come in episode 1, did she? She was in a little bit after, because I think Trip was episode 1. I don't think she came until maybe 3. We're on 9, so I'd say about 6 episodes or so. But it's this character we thought was going to have this huge story, and all of a sudden she's dead.
She's nothing. There's no story to her whatsoever. She's just trying to be somebody she's not.
The best part is, I think Enzo thought he was going to, killing this Monique off was going to stir Stefan up, and Stefan was just like, meh. And it was Matt who flipped out at Stefan saying, why did you let Enzo do that?
Yeah. I mean, this is Matt coming to the realization, probably for the 30th time, that human life means nothing to vampires.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a new story arc for Matt. This is something Matt does at least once every other episode.
Yeah. But now seems like he's gonna do something about it.
He does. He goes and gets Jer, and he's like, look, we're hunting vampires. So
we're gonna kill Enzo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like the whole vampire hunter angle. I hope that we bring Jeremy back as the actual hunter, the 6, and we go deeper into that story, how there's always going to be 6, and they're always supposed to be 6, or is it 5? I think it's 6, though. It's one for every Michelson vampire. I know the curse was created and set in place there, and did not count Michael, and did not count Freya or Henrik. Mm-hmm. So this is counting Rebecca, Cole, Finn, Klaus, and Elijah. So I think it's 5. That sounds about right. So 5 hunters. Always will be 5 hunters. No more, no less. When one dies, someone else takes its place. And when one of the vampires kills a hunter, that hunter haunts them until the next hunter is born. Or, converted. Whatever. So we haven't seen that now in 2 seasons. They completely abandoned it last season. this season, it makes sense that he's not a hunter anymore, and they explain that by being in the town. They said he doesn't have his hunter powers. So they're not just being like, oh, he's not a hunter. They're just saying when he's in Mystic Falls, he's not a hunter. Mm-hmm. So I want to know more about this story, like, because this story even can get tied into the originals. Like, I would love to see that, because that's the origin. That's where the daggers came from. Is these hunters made the 5 daggers? They're the ones, you know. So there's a lot of tie in there that can work, and it needs to work, I think. So that's interesting. But the whole Enzo thing and the whole going to hunt Enzo, I think it's because Enzo even knew something was up when Stefan just let that girl die. It was too easy for Enzo, and I think he realized that. You know, so though this particular girl, 6 episodes in, and she even missed an episode or 2 here in the middle of that, you know, so she's really only been in like 4, 5 at most realistically this season. Yeah.
She wasn't a substantial character. They made her
a bigger deal than she ended up being.
Exactly. They made her look like she was going to be some huge puzzle piece, and then all of a sudden they're like, ha ha.
However, we do know that Sarah Salvatore is alive.
Yeah, and we do know that Enzo, he's looking for the truth, so...
Yeah.
We know Enzo's pretty good at looking into things, so...
And we know that this girl knows who she was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think it's out of the question that Enzo can find her. I think it's going to come down to that. And this is kind of a big deal, because it's Stefan and Damon's last living relative. Mm-hmm. You know, it's what's going to carry their bloodline on. There's no one after them. You know, this is it. Well, previously, up to this point, we thought that Stefan and Damon were the last quote-unquote living Salvatores. Mm-hmm. That's clearly not the case. So I'm interested to see where the Sarah Salvatore story does go from there. And hopefully Jeremy and Matt will save her in time. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Outside of that, it's really Kai looks like, and this is kind of my prediction way back when we first met Kai, that he was going to be the big bad this whole, you know, season. I know I said that about Tripp's group of of vampire slayers or whatever.
Yeah, in the beginning, I think at the beginning of the season, you were saying it was going to be Tripp himself for a while, and then
the reason I was saying Tripp was because we do know that Tripp has the group, right? We've seen the group. They tried to do the exchange. They just kind of ran off, right? They're not done. Their story's not concluded. So if anything, they might team up with Kai. We don't know. So by me predicting Tripp, that was only because he was what we believed at the time of meeting him was the leader of this troop. So when I predicted Tripp, I meant, you know, the whole vampire troop hunters, you know, in general was going to be the big bad. But Kai really looks like to be the immediate one, the mid-season one anyway. And I think the season is going to end. We have, what, one more episode, right?
Yeah.
We have the Christmas episode next week.
Yeah.
Do you think Kai is going to merge? I personally think Kai will merge, and I think that's how we're going to end the mid-season on.
It's hard to say.
I mean, unless Jo gets her powers back, merging with her would be stupid. It's not going to work. It'll be just like the flashback we had.
Jo goes MIA for the next episode, doesn't she?
She goes missing, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Probably because she heard that Kai's out, so she's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Or Kai has her. One of the two.
Yeah.
Forcing her to try to get her magic back, yeah. I mean, as it stands now, we know Jo has no magic. She relinquished it, so he can't merge with her.
Where did that dagger end up?
Kai had it.
Kai had the one that was trapped in 1994.
Right.
But,
oh, yeah, that's right.
But Damon and Alaric and Stefan had found it, and that's how they got back to the house.
Right.
Or Stefan and Alaric did, and that's how they saved Damon?
Did they just leave it in the side, like, in the pillar of the porch or something?
I don't remember now.
I don't think they ever actually, like...
I don't think they realized what it meant. It was just
I think no, they did. Because that's what Joe said. That's how we knew that was her magic. Is she explained that to them? That's where she left it. That's how
I don't think
they probably didn't realize that it was that important. They're just like, oh, we're just gonna throw it.
Yeah, I don't think they distinguished what they did with it after they threw it at the pillar.
No.
Yeah, I mean that was what
it kind of was
2 episodes ago now,
and then it was kind of just we need to save.
I mean, for all we know, they may have it. They may not have left it there. We don't know.
No idea.
Giddy.
So, yeah. You ladies have anything else for this week before we go into next week?
Mm-mm.
No?
I mean, it was a pretty straightforward episode.
It was a good episode, though.
It was. I mean, the ending was like, kind of heartbreaking when Bonnie realizes they're not there.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
She collapses and, you don't hear her cry, but you can tell she's letting it go.
Yeah.
She's literally all alone.
Yeah.
She is.
She doesn't even have Kai there to bother her anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kai just got through. He shattered the Ascendant against the tree, and he walks across the line so the vampires can't find him. He's running rampant in Mystic Falls. Elena, Damon, Liv, whatever, they don't really have any way to go get Bonnie right now. I mean, we've seen Bonnie reassemble the Ascendant, so it's not out of the question that, Liv can do it too.
Well...
It looks pretty.
Did Kai give the one piece he picked up in front of Elena back?
Yeah, he cast the fire spell and threw it into her hands, and everything's caught on fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed the actual piece being caught on fire.
I think he got smashed into a tree or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Initially it got smashed in a tree, and Elena went to go dig up all the pieces, and he's like, and he picks up the little piece, and she's holding it in her hand. And then he says, whatever the fire spell is, and goes poof into her hand. And goes, and then her whole arm's on fire.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, burn!
And then, surprise, she's okay.
Yeah, she's like, oh, yeah, I'm fine. It's good.
It's just fire.
Anyway,
it's just fire, guys.
Next week, the episode is called Christmas Through Your Eyes, which is a Gloria Estefan song. Yay. All Alone on Christmas. With the holidays approaching, Bonnie attempts to replicate her favorite traditions while reminiscing about her happier times with her friends.
Oh.
Boo-hoo, so sad. Not able to return home to Mystic Falls for her favorite time of year, Caroline is surprised when Sheriff Forbes brings the holidays to her at Whitmore College. So, it's like 2 people can't have their favorite holidays. Bonnie,
the fuzzies.
Bonnie's hanging on to tradition. Caroline's trying to hang on to tradition. She can't. Meanwhile, after discovering that Joe has gone missing, Alaric turns to Damon and Elena for help. I'm surprised Alaric wants anything to do with Damon. While Liv and Luke find themselves at odds when Tyler approaches them with a risky plan. Elsewhere, Jeremy helps Matt carry out a plan to take down Enzo, but grows concerned when Matt takes things too far. Finally, Stefan is forced to break some devastating news to Caroline. Ooh, is he going to come clean and be like, look, I don't feel like that to you?
She already knows that he doesn't feel like that. It's that's not devastating anymore to Caroline. She's trying to move on. Yeah. The whole, she got over the devastating part, and now she's moving on.
So then what would be devastating? That he does have feelings for her? Would that be devastating to her?
No. I'm thinking, they're not putting it in there, but something happens to Caroline's mom. Because that would be the only thing really... Well, no. There could be always, the whole, Bonnie not coming back. Because, they were all looking forward to that.
Oh, that's true, too. So, yeah. So
but
maybe...
why would Stefan break it to her? Why not Elena?
Elena's busy with Alaric and Damon.
It's only a phone call away.
A lot of things are only a phone call away. I mean, look what happened. Look what happened when Bonnie was saying goodbye to Jeremy last season. She made a phone call. That didn't turn out too well, did it?
Well, that's because Jeremy's a little bitch.
Jeremy hung on to that phone for the better half of this whole, this first half of this season, just because of that.
You would think he would know how to deal with grief. Same with Elena. They're not blood, but they're both
blood.
whiny.
No, they're blood. Yes. I think you forget. They are not brother and sister, but they are cousin.
Whatever. They're both whiny little wenches, and I just they should
don't forget Uncle John was
things
Elena's father.
Popping out their asses left and right, and they're all connected, and they're still whining about every single one of them. I mean, what? Elena's a freaking vampire. Is she grieving about her death? No, she's going around sucking other people's freaking necks and then killing them off.
Yeah.
God, I hate her.
I'm just making sure that I'm right on that. Elena and Uncle John, that was Elena's father was John.
Mm-hmm.
And her brother, his brother adopted Elena, so that would make Elena and Jeremy cousins, right?
Yeah.
Okay. At least I'm not crazy. Well, I'm crazy, but at least
no,
I know what
you mentioned it, and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But still,
it's one of those better parts of storylines that people forget.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that about wraps things up. Oh wait, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
Heather.
So happy.
Heather, where can the people find you at your brand new Twitter?
Twitter and everywhere else like Facebook and Twitch at Chronyxia, CHRONYXIA.
Excellent. You can find me down below on the same boring old Twitter, Phenomedom. PHENOMEDOM. You can also find us on Facebook, Gmail, G+, YouTube, Space, and Gmail, or G+, whatever, at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Till next week.
Yay.
Happy holidays.
Yeah. Stuff and things.
Stuff and things.
With ribbons.
Ribbons.
Ribbons
I'm actually getting
and glitter.
I started getting my Cards Against Humanity Kwanzaa cards. Did Mike start receiving his yet?
He probably has a few, but they're at the other mailing address. He hasn't checked them.